welcome back to my video. Today we're going to do year 5 and year 6 subtraction. Now there is a lot to cover with year 5 and year 6. I can't cover all of it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the 4 or 5 different steps to it. Everything ranging from just simple subtraction where you have to do a bit of borrowing, to placeholders in the middle of numbers which you have to kind of leap across, to decimals. Also, at the end of the video, I'm also going to show you an example of kind of a trick subtraction you might get asked, or actually a column method. This formal method here isn't actually the most efficient way of doing it. And there are other methods you can use. Some of you remember all the way back in year 2, but I'll go over those at the end. So, hang around and I'll show you at the end. So we're going to just start with year 5. Now, at the beginning of year 5, we have questions which have a kind of a varied amount of digits. So here we've got 4,532, subtract 19. Now, I'm not going to do 4 digits, take away 4 digits, because if you can do this, you can do that. So with this question, I've got to be a little bit careful. It's all about the layout. So I'm going to make sure I put in my column names. There they are. And I'm going to make sure that my 19 goes in the right place. So I've got 19 is 110 and some ones. So there's my 110 and there's my ones. Draw in there the rest of it, and I won't forget this time around to put subtraction in. Now I have to subtract. I'm going to have to borrow because I can't do 2 take away 9. Okay, so I'm going to borrow. So I've taken one of those 10s and I've put it over here. Okay, so I've still got 2 10s and 1 10. There's my 3 10s, but I have got, I've just moved one across. So I've now got 12 take away 9s. Well, 12 take away 9 is 3. I've now got 2 10s because one of them's over here. So I've got 2 10s take away 1 10. Here's 1 10. And then the rest of it is nice and it follows through like that. Okay, your turn. If you'd like to have a go, I'm going to do 9,171, subtract 530. So pause the video if you want to have a go first. Okay, I meant to say up here, I must go this way. I can't turn these 2 numbers around, and I must always work vertically down. So my number 9,171, subtract. Now I'm going to make sure I get things in the right place. It says 500, so there's my 500, and I've got 30. Okay, so this time around, slightly different place I need to borrow, because I can do 1 take away nothing. I can do 7 10s take away 3 10s, which is 14, but now I can't do this. So I'm going to have to borrow. So I'm going to split my 9,000s up into 8,000. There's one there and there. So I've still got my 9,000. I've got 8 of them there and 1 of them there. So there's still 9. But now I've got 11 take away 5. 11 take away 5 is 6. I can always check by going the other way. I know that 5 add 6 is 11, so I know it's correct. And then I've got this 8 that's left. So I've got 8,640. So that's kind of the beginning of the year 5, from year 4 into year 5, where I'm going to have different amounts of digits. Okay, you'll also start to get questions where we're going to have a placeholder in the middle of the number, and I'm going to have to jump it. So I'm just going to move my paper up a little bit. So what I mean is a question a bit like this. So I've got 6,301. And I'm going to take away 1,290, 92 I think we'll do. So if I set this out, making sure I've got my placeholders, there's my 1,000 column. Now of course you could have this with mixed amount of digits, but I'm just going to keep it simple for the moment. Okay, here we go. Right, I've got a bit of an issue here because I can't borrow. I can't do 1 take away 2, and I can't borrow from here. Now, a bit like what I did in the addition video is I'm not going to put 10, cross out, put a 9, put 1, because I think it's going to get messy. So I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to borrow from here because I can't do that. So I'm going to put 10 there. Well, I'm not. I'm going to put 9 there because one more is going to go over there. Now I can do it. Now I can solve this question because I've got 11 take away 2, 11 ones. Let's finish those off. 11 take away 2, well that's 9. I can do this, 9 take away 9. That's okay because that's a 0. I can do 2 take away 2 because that's another 0. And then I've got my 6,000s take away my 1,000, which is, oops, 5,000. I put 1 there. So I've got 5,009 as an answer, and I've managed to bridge across. It can get one step trickier, and this will also help you with when you have to do a bit more up here. So this is about as tricky as it's going to get. Now I'm going to write the question. If you'd like to pause the video and see if you can solve it before I do, then that's absolutely fine. So the question I'm going to pose you, this is a bit like the question above. We're going to do, we're going to do 3,012 subtract 1,343. Oh, I laid it out for you. That was a bit silly. There we go. So I'm going to do this question. Okay, I'm going to do actually. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do one more. Okay, and alongside it, if you'd like to have a go at the same time, I'm going to do 3,019. Similar number, but we're going to do take away 1,343. Now, both of these questions might cause a little bit of issue. So if you'd like to have to pause the video, do. I'll have a go in a moment. Okay, so good luck if you had a go at these questions. So I'm going to start with this one over here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my placeholders. So I keep saying placeholder, don't I? My column names. Right. 2 take away 3. Okay, 2 take away 3 I can't do, so I'm going to have to borrow. Now, this is where it's going to have to, I'm going to have to be really, really neat. Okay, so there we go. So I've got, now I've got 12 take away 3. I can do that because that's 9. But I've got another problem now. Now I can't do this one because I've got no 10s left because I had to put them over there. Well, that's okay because I've been nice and neat. So, oh, I can't borrow from here. Oh no, so I'm going to have to go to here. Okay, so that's okay. So we're going to cross that out. We're going to take that. I'm going to move the 1,000. We're going to put 900 there. 900. You see, that's why I say it's 900. 900. And then we'll put 100 over there. Now it looks like we've got 10 10s. Well, and hopefully we know that 10 10s is 100. So we've got 900 there. And we've got 10 10s, 100 there. So we've still got our 1,000. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just helping us out over here. So now I can do it. Now I've got 10 take away 4. 10 10s take away 4 10s is 6. I've now got 900s and 300s. Excuse me. So we've got 6. And then we've got 2 take away 1. So I've got 1. So I can still solve that question there. It's 1,669. Right. Then we've got this one. I wanted to have a go. Again, if you want to go before I do, pause it now and have a go. Okay. Right. Okay, it's moved. It's over here now. So let's put these place ones in. There we go. Okay, so 9 take away 3. It's okay, I can do that. That's a 6. But I can't do this. And oh, it's a bit like here, isn't it? Look, I've got that same pattern again. So I'm going to have to borrow. So I leave 2,000s behind. I put 900 of that 1,000 there. There's 900. And I put the other 100 that's here. So I've got 11 10s. 11 10s is 110, so it works out. So I've got 11 take away 4. 11 take away 4 is 7. Again, I can always check going this way. I can go check by going backwards, but I should always work that way originally. I've got 9 take away 3, well that's 6, and 2 take away 1. So I've got 1,676. So both of these I've had to be a little bit messy with it, but it's all about being neat up here. Okay, just be really careful if you're doing this. This is the reason why I do it in front of you and I do it live, so that you can see the care I have to take. Okay, so that's about as difficult as it will get, the end of year 5, beginning of year 6. The last couple of questions I want to share with you is, set my piece of paper up again, there it is. When we've got decimal places in subtractions, and also we've got different values as well. So the question we're going to start on is we're going to do 29.5 subtract 16.125. So that's the question we're going to do first. I've just noticed my video is a little bit fuzzy when my camera's in front of hands in front of the camera. Okay, so just like with the addition, I'm going to focus on that decimal place. I'm going to use that decimal place to line everything up, and I'm going to make sure that I have that decimal place in at the end. Otherwise, I'm going to make quite a big boo-boo at the end, because if I forget the decimal points, then the answer gets very wrong very quickly. So first thing I'm going to do is 29.5. There's my 29.5, and I'm going to put this placeholder in. So I'm going to put one in there, and I'm going to put one in there for the answer. I'm just going to have to extend this out here. Need to. And I'm going to put this number in here. So there's my 10s and there's my 1s, and then I've got 16. So my 16 sits there, and I've got my 1.125. We don't say that as 125 because it's not. It's 1/10, 2 hundredths, and 5 thousandths. If it was 125, it would be set over this side. So 0.125. Now, hopefully you've spotted I'm going to need some placeholders here. Okay, so I need some placeholders, and now we've got all sorts of problems. We've got loads of zeros now. Well, that's okay, because we can carry across. Now, over here, I'm just going to write this. Now, what you might see is, you might see when I carry across, I cross this out, I then put my 4 there, and then I can do 10, no, not 10, 9, and then 1 over here. Now, if you do that, that's fine. And if you've been told to do that, that's absolutely fine. I don't do that because I think it gets really messy. And if I end up having to do, eating onto the floor, if I end up having to do this, where I'm going to have to add extra things to that, then I think we're going to make some mistakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit of a shortcut. So I cross that one out and I put a 4. In my head I'm saying 10, okay, but actually it's not 10, it's 9, and then 1 over there. Okay, so I did a bit in my head and I wrote something down. So now I can do it. Now I can solve the question. I've got 10 take away 5. Oh, I haven't put my place. I keep saying placeholders. I need to stop doing that. My column names. That's a placeholder. Okay, so I've got 10 take away 5, which is 5. I've got 9 take away 2 is 7. And I have got 4 take away 1, which is... Okay, that's the complicated side done. Now, it's cool. I've got the nice side here. I'll often do that. I'll do one and the other. So we'll do 9 take away 6 is 3, and 2 take away 1, excuse me, is 1. So I've got 13.375. Okay, your turn if you'd like to have a go. We're going to do, I'll use similar numbers. So we'll do 28.4 take away, let's have a similar number. Let's do 13.135. There you go. Okay, so if you'd like to have a go, pause the video. Okay, so if you had a go on your own, brilliant, well done. I'm really pleased you're trying before me, so let's have a go. So I've got my 28.4. Oh no, I've just spotted a mistake up there. Can anybody see a mistake up there? I'll give you a clue. It might be over here a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put my decimal points in, and I'm going to put my placeholders. Oh, I keep doing that. I'll get it right one day. There we go. Right, and I'm going to put my subtraction sign in. There we go. I put my subtraction sign in. I think I need to write myself a note. I need to put a note up here, don't I? It just says remember to put your signs. So 13. So there's my 13. I've got them in the right place. 110, 110. Yeah, we're all good. I've got the 1. Yeah, the 1 digit goes in there. 3, 5. Get my answer lines in. I get my placeholders in there. So again, I'm going to have to borrow. I can't do that. I haven't got anything to take away because I must work that way. I can't work the other way. So I'm going to have to borrow, aren't I? So there we go. There's the 3. Carry 10 over. Oh, no. 10 in my head. Put 9 there. 1 more over there. So I've still got my 10. 9 add 1. And I've still got my total of my my 1/10 I've given up. So now, quite similar to this question up here. I did it on purpose. So 10 take away 5 is 5. Well, this is a little bit different. 9 take away 3 is 6. 3 take away 1 is 2. And then 8 take away 3 is 5, because 5 add 3 is 8. And then 2 take away 1 is 1. So I've got 15.265. So as I said at the beginning of the video, that's about as complicated, well, all the maths you're going to get to do. You're going to have to do it in different ways, but it will be some combination of that. I would just really stress with you, make sure that you are neat when you're working, make sure your pencil is sharp, you have to work in pencil, and when you get to the decimals and you get things you have to add in, it's all about lining it up. The reason why we put that decimal point in is, let's pretend I haven't, okay, let's pretend it's not there, and then I put the answer in the answer box over here, and I go, okay, but I write it without the decimal place. So all of a sudden my 15.265 has gone to 15,265, which is very wrong. Okay, right, at the beginning of this lesson I said to you that there's sometimes a trick question where it will work, but excuse me, we are going to make sure that sometimes this written method is not the best. So here is my example question. It's 2001, take away 100, so 1,992. Now, you are right. You could do 2,000, you could do this. And you could be working it out, and you would get to the answer, and I'll go, okay, that's brilliant. The answer is 9. 9, you say? How did you do it so fast? I will show you how the answer is 9. So, yes, you could do it that way. The other way you could do it is you could remember about your year 2 knowledge. And we go 1992, and you might even be able to do this in your head. I'm going to jump to 2000, and then I'm going to jump to 2001 at the end. Okay, so I know that that jump there is 8, that jump there is 1, and 8 add 1 equals 9. I don't need to do that. Okay? Could do it. Let's do it this anyway. So, okay, so I'm going to have to now spread it all out. I'm going to have to share it all out. So 10 goes to here. It's not 10. We'll put 9 in there. 9 goes in there. And then 1 goes in there. And I could spend a very long time explaining why all that happens. But I still get the answer 9. Because 11 take away 2, well, that's 9. And that's 0, and that's 0, and that's 0. And I've got the right answer. There it is. So I can use my mental math as well. You can also do it with decimals. So here is a question we could solve as well. So we could do 21.1 take away 19.8. And again, I could if I wish to, but maybe I would 21.1 take away 19.8. And I could do it that way. Or I could just tell the answer is 1.3. Mr. C, how did you do that so fast? Well, in my head, what I just did was I started on 19.8, and then I jumped to 20 in my head, and then I jumped to 21.1. Well, that jump there, because I know my number of ones, is 0.2, and I did that in my head, and then that jump there is 1 and 1.1, and there's your 1.3. 1.1 add 0.2 is 1.3. It also works this way. You can do it this way as well if you'd like. I don't mind. So we could do it like this. Okay. So we've got, excuse me, 11 take away 8. Well, that's 3. Okay. I can't do that. So I'm going to have to do that. So 10 take away 9 is 1. And then that take away that is nothing. So there is also 1.3. So what's really important with subtraction? The floor. We've got beginning, where it starts out and you're going to be shown given questions where you have a different number of digits, so you have to make sure you line them up. It's then going to kind of move on to things where you're going to have to move bridge across numbers. You're going to have to use your knowledge, especially this one here that is fairly tricky that's there. We're then going to move on to questions such as the top of this one where we have decimal points, and I'm going to have to be really careful. And thrown into all of that, you might get questions where actually the best method, the most efficient method, the quickest method, is going back and using either mental maths, if you can do it in mental maths, or drawing a number line. These number lines are really important when I look at things like fractions and time, especially fraction problems and ratio and proportion. I'll be using number lines and I'll be using bars and so on and so forth. Well, it's a bit of a longer video. Thank you very much for sticking to the end if you did. I hope this helps. Hit me with a like or a subscribe or ask a question. If I've missed something or you've come across a question you just can't solve, if there's an email address you want to email me, and I'll have a look and I can always respond directly if there's an email address. But thank you for watching to the end, and see you next time. Bye for now.